Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Symphogear Zesshou Shinai. Symphogear, the OVAs for Symphogear AXZ is what we're going to be watching today. It's currently a little late, very late actually, after midnight. I'm a little sleepy, I'm a little tired, but if I don't record it today, then I'm gonna have trouble recording it tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm gonna have even less time to do anything, and then the weekdays start, the week starts, and my job starts, and I'm not gonna have any time whatsoever. So here we are right now on this Monday morning, actually, recording some Symphogear. Those are OVAs, so I don't think my tiredness or sleepiness will have particularly much impact on it. Regardless. And it's already a week late, so I wouldn't want to make it late another week, right? So, regardless of that, AXZ Zesshou Shinai OVAs. What can I expect from it? Well, I hope we will see a little bit of school life, probably, possibly, at Lydian. That was something that, in my opinion, was severely lacking from the series proper. So hopefully it will be contained within those OVAs. I hope we spend some time with the Alchemists as well. They were some great characters, and honestly kind of a waste the way they went out. I'd rather see them stay and become part of the permanent cast, but alas. And I fully expect some Tiki shenanigans, because she very much seemed like this kind of a comedic relief kind of character, and was that kind of a character to the very end, where she foiled the plans of the Grand Master by grabbing him, plans of Adam by grabbing him and knocking him over, which was kind of anticlimactic, but kind of on brand for Tiki. So, so I think we will see a little bit more of her. And my tea went the wrong hole. Okay, what else can we see? I don't know, maybe Elf9 working on the gears, because that also was kind of skimmed through, right? Gears need upgrading, so they send them off to Elf9, and then Elf9 appears with fixed or upgraded or whatever gears without anything actually going on. Anything rather actually being shown. Maybe we will see Val Verde again. Maybe some more backstory on Chris. Maybe just the regular Val Verde shenanigans. Perhaps the guy with the missing leg, whose name I forgot. And yeah, I forgot his name. Perhaps we're gonna see him playing football or something, right? A good end. I don't know. Anything can happen. It's the OVAs, so who's to say? Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the intro. There are 4 OVAs. We're gonna be watching all of them, of course. Reaction, discussion, reaction, discussion. As always, when it comes to the OVAs. So let's not prolong it any further, shall we? And give you your subs. You're gonna need them to follow along. And give myself some sound. I'm gonna need it to hear what's going on. And this is Senki Zesshou Shinai Symphogear AXZ 01, version by someone. Let me find it. I think it's Quantum. That's the version by Quantum. So if you want to get the exact same one, it's gonna be the Quantum release. And of course, support the channel if you want. Patreon throw links in the description below, or if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps the channel. And now, with all of that out of the way, we can start watching Senki Zesshou Symphogear AXZ Episode 1 in 3, 2, 1, go. Summer break before AXZ. Okay, Elfland recuperating. I'm glad we can see that. Letter to Elf 9. And the whole day just went poof. Okay, so she just came here to eat some fruit. Oh, letter from Kirika and Shirabe, probably. That's a natural reaction to being jumped like that. Oh, and there's that, of course. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense for Chris to send those fruit that tsundere she is. And makes sense for Chris to be angry at Hibiki. Oh no, she has to be admitted again. Also, I love this broken up noise. Really? 3 more days because she tripped. I guess she is fragile. Why are you on a bus? Yeah, that's a good question. So they're holding the party on the road to the airport or something? Probably. I mean, a party bus is a good idea, don't get me wrong. I mean, if that's your standard for cleanliness. Procrastination. That's what it's called. Oh? Did we hear anything about that? About Maria being on a special mission from Tsubasa's father? If so, then I don't remember, honestly. Ain't gonna be quiet for particularly long. I have a feeling... Oh. Okay. That's very Tsubasa. I mean, sure. They're the same family, essentially, so it doesn't make much of a difference, but sure. Hmm. Yeah. She doesn't care if it's true or false. She cares that it's a cool, fun story. And you have a separate stomach for sweets, so it shouldn't be a problem, should it? Yeah, I'm at a loss as well. And of course the fireworks. And cicadas. Yeah. And she ate it, of course. Shrine visit? Oh no. Something else. Interesting. What would be the significance of this braid? If anything? Did Carol have it? I can't remember. I didn't really pay that much attention to how they look. My light cover got skewed and it's blinding me. Yeah, it ain't gonna get much better. It's just a piece of paper, not an actual proper cover. Okay, so that was the first OVA. How about now we watch it again? Shall we? Okay, so she got a letter from, yeah, you could tell it was from Kirika because it has the green bow on it. And the fruit basket is from Chris because I guess it has the pink bow on it, although that's kind of pushing it. But yeah, Chris would be the one who would be sending this kind of a conscious gift, right? You're sick, so you need fruit, you need vitamins. So of course she wants the best for Elf9, so she sends a basket of fruit instead of, I don't know, a plushie or flowers or something. And also very pragmatic. And also Chris has a thing with food, right? With the lack of food that she experienced when she was in Val Verde and later also enslaved. Yeah, okay. The most precious thing that Chris can give is food. Makes perfect sense. Even Chris was in a good mood setting off fireworks. And yeah, of course, Hibiki would have eaten all the fruit. Greetings, we're going to set off fireworks. Sure, I guess. That's news. And of course, yeah. Interesting that it's not the first time it happened that Hibiki ate all of the fruit. It's just the first time we're having this conversation. And of course, everything fits, both for Chris and Hibiki. And just how fragile are you, Elf9? I've already sustained heavy damage. And what the hell are you drawing? A white wriggly human and a yellow wriggly human. Sure. I guess they had to wrap everything up. I would have expected that this whole display would stay there for the 3 days. I mean, 3 days isn't a lot of time, so you can just keep it hang up, right? You don't need to gather it and then rehang it in 3 days, just leave it be. But apparently in the end, they're holding the celebration on a bus on the way to the airport with Tsubasa and Maria. Interesting. I thought initially they're going for some, I don't know, some sort of a retreat to a beach house to play on the beach or to hot springs or something. Some sort of a celebration that's, you know, vacation style and very OVA style kind of thing. But no, they're just getting Tsubasa and Chris to the airport. And oh, I just noticed there's a katana embedded in a wall. I can understand the clothes being scattered around. I can understand the cans and the bottles, but the fucking katana embedded in a wall. It's a hotel. How'd you do that at a hotel? I just didn't want to put my mind to it. Sure, tell yourself that. Keep telling yourself that. That's because I'm on a special mission from your father. Either it's a new revelation, or it was so subtle that I didn't notice it, or I completely forgot about anything like that happening. Because I can't recall Tsubasa's father giving Maria any sort of a task. I honestly can't remember any of that. So do remind me if you remember it, if it actually happened. Do tell me down in the comments. This sword is so damn cute. I concur. I concur, Maria. You have some great taste. And Obon, I'm guessing Obon tradition is making animals out of vegetables. It's kind of like a harvest celebration. I'm gonna Google it actually. What the hell is Obon? Obon. Fusion of the ancient Japanese belief in ancestral spirits and a Japanese Buddhist custom to honor the spirits of one's ancestors. Okay, so it's kind of like All Hallows Eve kind of thing. Yeah, a mix between Halloween and North American something. It says. Yeah, a mix of Halloween and Thanksgiving. Interesting. Seeing the crops used here, I thought it was more of a what should I call it? Harvest celebration, harvest thing, kind of like Polish dożynki. But it seems to be more like All Hallows Eve, like Wszystkich Świętych in Polish, which is kind of a celebration of the dead. You go to the graves and put some lanterns on them and stuff like that. But there's also vegetables involved. Interesting. I wonder what's the story behind those vegetables. An MMS from Tsubasa, or I guess an email, because they just use email in Japan. And of course it's a bike. Weird ass looking bike, but a bike nonetheless. And I guess it's Maria holding it. And as Chris was watching the reruns of Symphogear, she remembered that it wasn't a cucumber, it was a zucchini. Cool, I'm glad you got that resolved. Of course, some festival fun, catching the goldfish. Chris, of course, using a gun, trying to win some console. PSVR, I think. Could you go back, please? Please, player. Work with me. I beg of you. There we go. Yeah, that's this scene, and that is... Yeah, it seems like a PSVR. There's like a PlayStation at the bottom, some VR headset in the middle, and a PS Vita at the top. Kind of thing. Was PSVR a thing back when AXZ was airing? I don't know. And they're eating. Oh, interesting. I just noticed, or rather, I just paid attention. There was some talk about the festival early on. Kirika and Shirabe sending a message, sending a letter, or Kirika sending a letter to Elf9 that they're going to light up the fireworks, and Hibiki talking about some festival as well, I think. Yeah, oh, or was she talking about last year's festival? Can't remember. Essentially, I thought that what we saw at the beginning was the later thing, and what we're seeing now is the prequel to what we saw at the beginning. But no, because Elf9 is with them, so she's been discharged from the hospital, and she can be out and about. If we eat some desserts, we'll be able to complete our gourmet tour map side story edition. And I didn't quite get the joke. Is it a joke about Chinibyo? I'm not sure. Oh, and glad to see that Chris won the console. Yeah, Shirabe also wants to distance herself. It seems like a Chunibyo joke, although I'm not sure. And of course, watching the fireworks together. Everybody has an open mouth, but of course, sure, everybody has an open mouth, but Hibiki is the only one pogging. I guess Miku doesn't have her mouth open. And just like that, the gourmet map has been finished with a nice cicada meal. And also the braid. Another thing that I'm not sure about the significance of. My bet is on I think Carol had a braid like that. I think she did. Is it Elf9 honoring the memory of Carol by having the same hairstyle? Or is it some Carol's memories, maybe not memories, but like feelings and stuff still lingering within Elf9, and for Carol that braid was something that her father used to make? I don't know, I'm kind of reaching here. I think. But yeah, it's a nice braid, and it's a nice hairstyle. Okay, so quickly about this one. That was cool. I mean, what else can I say? It's Symphogear OVA. It was a cool one. I'm glad we saw a little bit more of Elf9. I was kind of expecting that she's gonna be, I guess, despairing a little over Carol giving up her body, but I guess because they kind of merged, she's not really worried about it. I don't know. What else? Glad to see them having some fun time on the festival. That was, as I mentioned at the very beginning, that was something that was severely missing for me from AXZ. Something that would ground the series, something that would introduce personal stakes to it. The way previous seasons had actual moments of Hibiki having to rescue Miku or rescue other friends, or her other friends being in danger, or Miku being in danger, right? Very personal. It's Hibiki going to rescue Miku. AXZ was very world-ending scale, right? Hibiki was no longer trying to save Miku, trying to save her friends, she was trying to save the world. She was no longer trying to punch the noise that was attacking her friends. She was trying to punch God that was attacking the world. And sure, there's the grandiose scale of it all, and there's something to be said about that being important. But it was missing that personal, low, like grounded tier. And I guess this OVA gives us a little bit of it, that yes, they did have some interactions, so that personal life of theirs is still there, it still happened, so Hibiki is still kind of fighting for her own life, as well as for the existence of the world. So I'm glad we had this bit of the festival. Kind of a shame that Maria and Tsubasa couldn't make it, but they were in the UK at the time. And also gives us a little bit of backstory as to how they got to the UK. And also kind of a pity that Elf9 didn't have a proper party, but rather they had to hold it on a bus. Anything else? I don't think so. So let's jump into the next one. Episode 2. OVA 2, rather. There we go. Subs. And there we go. 0 out. The timer. Move the cable. And let's go. Subs, sound, support, Patreon, throne. I'm not gonna repeat that. And we can start watching the second OVA of Symphogear AXZ. Let me double check that it's the second one. It is. In 3, 2, 1, go. Taste of Summer. Nagashi Somen. Oh, the one that's like floating in bamboo pipes in cold water. Oh, yeah, don't use alchemy for that. It's gonna explode. Yeah. The noodles are gonna be all dissolved by the time they get to the bottom. Okay. I mean, that's a great use for their training room. Do you have the somen? That's a good question. Oh, and the anime club as well. I didn't think they're gonna be the inverted subtitles. Yeah. I didn't think the anime club is gonna be let into this super secret facility, but apparently they have no issues with that. Elf? 9. Oh, she's thinking of a name. She would need a straw hat. Oh, yeah. So it is a reference. Cool. I'm glad we got to see them, for sure. Okay, so they do actually have Somen. You're gonna wait for a good while. Hibiki. Of course, Hibiki would be stopping the flow of Somen. Yeah, I guess fun is the biggest part of it. And maybe also does something for flavor. Running water washes out the starch or something, I don't know. Right, summer homework. Oh. Yes. Thankfully, the world's ending is going to make homework inconsequential. Okay, so she's actually gonna try to do that. With Miku's help. Oh no. Kirikan Shirabe. And Chris just doesn't give a fuck. Red singing hood, huh? She wants to hang out. And that. Right, she lives alone. Kirika and Shirabe live together. Hibiki lives with Miku. And Chris lives alone, so... And she's gonna be the most scared of it. Oh. Yeah, makes sense. She didn't want to be alone watching some show about ghosts or something. Spy Maria? Mari Spy? Mari Spia? I am reminded yet again of Princess Principal. I gotta watch the Crown Handler movies. The new ones that came out. Oh, she's also soaking wet. How? 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 Oh, sprinklers. Okay. More likely Genjuro. Yeah. No, she did. She's just a... Okay, a beef stroganoff. Cookbook. Are you allowed to make photos inside of a secret underground facility? Or, I guess, secret underwater facility. True. The normal days. Something severely lacking from her life. And you had to say it. You just had to say it. Every time you say, oh, just normal, slow, fun days, the world starts to end. Oh, wait. Is there some after credits thing? No. No, it was just fading to black. Okay, so, as the last time, let's watch it again. Nagashi Somen. And of course, in classic Elf9 fashion, in classic alchemical fashion, she goes above and beyond with loop-de-loops and everything. It's more like a water slide for a cat. I mean, you're not wrong. I fully expected Elf9 to try to go down it, because it's about her size as well. And the Japanese summer, that's the best use for an AR room, isn't it? And Nagashi Summon has everything it needs. So this is the thing Biki was talking about. The new cutting-edge cat water slide. Yeah. I love the inverted subs here. That's great. That's great. Nickname, Luffy. How did you get Luffy from Elf9? Erif9, Ruffy. I guess. Okay, I guess I can see that. I'll explain it to you while we watch a certain popular anime. Yeah. And now it's time for Summon. That was your biggest mistake, placing Hibiki first. I thought initially the gag is going to be that it's going to take so long for the Summon to get down, but no, the gag was that Hibiki just... Yeah, at this moment, I thought the gag is going to be that the Summon just takes so long because the slide is so elaborate. But no, it's Hibiki. Hibiki who's damming it up. Of course. Stand and fight for damn demolition. Have you solved the mystery of why the summon must flow? It's delicious and it's very fun. I wonder if flowing water actually has any impact on summon's flavor. I did have some instant Nagashi summon kind of thing. We have an Asian store on the other side of the road where they have all sorts of imported instant soups, and they have like nori and everything, kimchi, stuff like that. Most of it imported from Asia, from Japan, China, Korea. They have dango, no, not dango, mochi, and all that kind of stuff. It was interesting because you had to pour some hot water over the noodles, and then you needed to soak them in ice water. And there was the packet with sauce that you had to also drop on it. It was nice. It was nice. I need to look for it again. First time ever I ate cold noodles. But it was cool. And cold. I wonder, though, if flowing water actually has an impact on summon. I don't know. I would like to try Nagashi Summon at least once in my life, but I guess you need to go to Japan for that. Although maybe I would be able to get some bamboo poles somewhere and cut them in half. That's not completely unfeasible, I guess. Gonna have to wait for the summer, of course. As expected of an alchemist, she's already arrived at the truth. Yeah. I feel like this whole thing is starting to make less and less sense. I mean, it's Symphogear OVAs. They have the right to just not make sense. Still have a whole day left, of course. I can totally see Biki panicking at the end of summer. We all can. I think we can all agree that it's something we all can see. Is that what you all think of me? Yes. Yes, indeed. Wonderful red singing hood. And yeah, the excuse to come over and play. The excuse to not be alone. Yeah, Hibiki has Miku. Shirabe has Kirika. I don't know what are the living arrangements of Maria and Tsubasa. Does Tsubasa live with her family and Maria lives alone? I don't know, I'm not sure, probably. But Chris would be left completely alone, so I guess, yeah, she would be coming over to not be lonely. And what's on the telly today? Rome's Journey, drama rerun 24 hours in a life-saving hospital, drama rerun Courage and Vitality, news experts, weather news, test of courage, spirit special feature level 3 2-hour special, speed news 2017 and idle idol. And yeah, in 30 minutes we're going to watch a horror special. Oh, it's so bad I could laugh. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, she wanted to watch it alone, but couldn't. This is a great shot. This is some great art, actually. Can I, like, turn off the subtitles for a moment? Subtitles, how do I do that? Okay, subtitle visibility. And can I grab a screenshot like that? Video, maybe? Screenshot. Has it been saved somewhere, or do I need to, like, open Paint and shit? Oh, I guess it was saved somewhere. Cool. Okay, let's bring the subtitles back. This is dangerous. Very dangerous. Rather than standing on stage as an idol. Maria is a very... how do you call it? A man of Renaissance, a woman of Renaissance. She's an idol. She's a superhero. She's a spy. She can be anybody. She was a supervillain for a while, right? Think I'm more suited for this kind of behind-the-scenes work. Yeah, this scene of dark London and fog, very reminiscent of Princess Principal. I really need to go back to it. The sword is still embedded in the wall. I thought the joke was that Tsubasa also got wet in the rain, and somehow that completely drenched her own room. But no, it's the sprinklers. It's the sprinklers. Mosquito coils, they bring back memories. I used to live outside of the big city, and we would have those set out outside in a gazebo when we were having a grill or something to repel the insects. Never used them at home though. We have this like electric thing you place in a wall socket and put a tiny little like slab kind of thing with probably the same substance that insect coils are using, and it just evaporates and it kills all the bugs. We always used those instead, but insect coils for the outside for sure. And of course tomorrow with the submission, because you left it all for the last moment. And I can relate to leaving homework for the last possible moment. Not because I do that, but because my students do that. They have a project that counts for half their grade, and the time to give it to me was like a month ago. 3 people returned it. Figures. I hate my job sometimes. Most of the time, actually, because it prevents me from recording more than I would have liked. Or rather, it prevents me from recording as much as I would have liked, but that's a topic for another video, or no video at all, actually. I don't want to just spam vlogs on my channel all the time. The two I have are enough. And of course, Miku would be the one studying Russian cuisine, how to make a delicious beef stroganoff. I mean, your beef stroganoff was plenty delicious from what we could see, but I guess she's aiming for the top. She wants to make the best beef stroganoff ever. I hope we get another song about it, but doubtful, with how AXZ already limited the slice of life aspect of this show, and it's now very grandiose. I can see the next season going back to that sort of a daily life and cooking with Miku kind of thing. I mean, we'll see for sure. Interesting that the anime club was let into their submarine and that they were allowed to take photos. Although, who would take that photo? I guess either Chris must have taken it or Genjiro? Possibly Genjiro. Next time we have to be the ones to invite her to something really great. That might be true. Yeah, she wants some slow moments. I think Biki is probably grateful for days when she can just have fun normally. Yeah, she doesn't need some grand experiences. She just wants to hang out, watch some movies, eat some chips, order a pizza, and have fun with her friends. The type of days that would never get a spotlight in an anime. I feel like that's kind of self-referential. Kind of like, we are aware that we removed any sort of slice of life elements from our show. We know that we did that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The fact that you are aware of a bad thing doesn't make the bad thing automatically not bad. I mean, at least in my mind, the removal of... Why is there already ant in my juice? Jesus Christ. I just poured it. Get squashed, bitch. Okay. What was I talking about? Yeah, the fact that you realize and you reference that we didn't put any slice of life doesn't actually make it better. It means that you are aware that you did something, but you didn't do anything to rectify it. I guess besides those OVAs, because they do give us a fair bit of slice of life moments, so sure. And that was the second OVA. What can I talk about? What can I say about this one? This one was particularly slice of lifey. The previous one, the first one, had some significant moments, so to speak. This one was mostly just fluff, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it because, again, this was something that was severely lacking in the series proper. So I'm glad we're getting those things here. Let's see. Yeah, it was just really fluff. Besides the last few lines that Hibiki would probably prefer, having some normal, slow fun. We got to spend some time with Elf9. She got to experience something new. That was fun. Then we got to spend some time with Chris and Kirika and Shirabe. And of course, we got to see Chris being Chris. Very prideful, very tsundere. Just Chris being Chris, as I said. And finally, some Maria and Tsubasa shenanigans. Not much to talk about in this one, besides the final moment, final scene of pretty much just foreshadowing that something's gonna go tits up. Okay, and this is 3.5. I got it loaded up. So I'm gonna take a brief break and get myself some fresh juice, and we're gonna get on with that. You're not gonna notice it because it's gonna be cut, but just saying. And I'm back. What did I say? You didn't even notice I was gone. So, now, episode 3, or the third OVA, as I said. Yeah, Symphogear AXZ 03. Subs, reset the clock, and sound, and we can get on with it. With watching the third OVA of Symphogear AXZ in 3, 2, 1, go. Just before 3.5. Bavarian. Did you bite your tongue or something? Yeah. I thought my glasses are dirty. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Quite a while ago. Okay, I guess they were about to finish Lapis Philosophorum. Yeah. Our own henshins. I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. In the end, they weren't the villains, really. Anti-heroes, more like. Oh. Trying to pronounce Lapis Philosophorum. And someone already sustained damage. Lapis Philosophorum. Yeah, presentation. Presentation matters. And, of course, the pursuit of perfection, of course. Didn't you yourself say Bavarian at the beginning? Oh, henshins. Is that it? Okay, we have direct confirmation. Oh. Okay. That's very panties and stocking. That's very PSG. The art style change and the shots very PSG-like. You look the exact same way you did. Antikythera mechanism, yeah. Akihabara? Oh no, eating some tonkotsu. Sure. That's something to strive for in life, isn't it? Okay. The fact that you mentioned you can't mention it is already mentioning it. Totally not Rambo. Yeah. And uses the classic child uh, technique. I wanted to say anti-child technique, but you know, when a child is stubborn and doesn't want to leave, their parents just say, okay, I'm gonna leave you there, I'm going. Nobody knows. She didn't think that far. Sure, platitudes. More platitudes. You're the necessary villains. I mean, that much is true. Yeah, I kind of wish their story continued. I still can't shake off the feeling that killing them, all three of them, with something completely random that was done only for the sake of killing the three of them. Yeah, it was a waste. I would really like to see them stick around, or perhaps for there to even be like a spin off about them. That'd be cool. Alas, not gonna happen. Oh well. What is going to happen though is watching this episode again. So let's do just that. Just before 3.5. What is 3.5? I thought Axis is the fourth season. So what does 3.5 mean? I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh well. A revolution. Time for our debut, indeed. Preaching from atop a tangerine box. Yeah. Oh, and the label of tangerines persisted on screen. Oh, because it was added by the typesetters. Okay. Wait, was it? If I turn off the subtitles, does it disappear? It does. Okay. And there's an eyelash in my eye. Someone put a lot of work in it. It's even just as blurry as the Tangerine box. That's cool. And more tangerines. Why are we doing it now? Because the stars have aligned, essentially. Chateau de Forge data, Lapis Philosophorum being near completion, some shake-up in America, some infighting or something. So you're using the fact that you are at full strength and the world is not to conquer the world, in short. It's the most logical course of action, but we're still not the villains. Don't you ever forget that. Symphogears will be our enemy. But yeah, we're supposed to win. We aren't bad guys, we're allies of justice. We just have a very interesting definition of justice. And how are we supposed to win? Of course. With effort, with hard work, with readiness, with preparedness, with diligence, with devotion, with effort. We're not taking anything for granted. Everything we have achieved has been our doing and our effort and our results. Yeah, she's very intense. She kinda reminds me of Satsuki from Kill la Kill. It's in the eyebrows, and it's in the intensity that she has, that she carries around with her. And of course, it's very important to pronounce Lapis Philosophorum properly. I mean, right? It matters when you're using some special words to describe your group or the technology or the weapons you're using. You don't wanna bite your tongue. You don't wanna mispronounce something because you're gonna be a laughingstock, and you can't be a laughingstock. You're the villain. Sorry, not a villain, an anti-hero of the story. So of course you have to carry yourself with a certain, certain air around you and a certain status, and you can't shake that up with mispronouncing words. And of course she already sustained some damage. Everybody's so fragile. Elf9 had to stay 3 days in a hospital because she tripped, she bit her tongue and she needs it disinfected. I mean, sure, human bites are nasty, but I will not permit improper pronunciation. Don't you ever discover the internet because you're gonna get a heart attack. Of course, the classic trope. I mean, it probably would have been only more classic if Prelati got a slap on the face, but no. And she just doesn't care, because of course. This is so incredibly PSG. I love it. I love this scene. PSG also had this very super deformed chibi art style, but at the moments when Panty and Stocking would henshin, you'd see this kind of an art. Much more, high res and high effort. Very much reminds me of PSG. I love it. I can hardly believe it was ever true. And then in contrast, the regular art style for this show. Just before the start of AXZ, we're finally starting to look the part. Indeed, we really are the bad guys. Indeed, standing at the top of a building in a wind at night, gazing up onto the city that you're going to conquer. We're not the bad guys. Of course you aren't. We're fighting against oppression, sure. Next stop, Val Verde. Why did you even come to Japan if you're gonna go to Val Verde next? Oh, I guess anti-Kitara mechanism was here. I don't know if it was ever mentioned. I don't think it was. And this episode really had fun with the art style, right? The change to a PSG-like shot. Now we're having an actual photo of some tonkotsu ramen. Is it tonkotsu? I don't see tonkotsu anywhere. I see either bok choy or asparagus or both. I see an egg. I see the Naruto things. I see some bamboo sprouts, some onions. Is the round thing in the middle tonkotsu? I don't know, maybe. Maybe. Shoyu tonkotsu. Okay. Now that you understand, since you basically eat the same thing every day, you truly are devoted to fulfilling your 3 earthly desires. Sleep, eat, and a third thing. What's the third thing? The change in her expression as well. I love this face. And then there's the other thing I enjoy that basically I can't mention. What would it be? Probably something stupid like, I know, yaoi manga or something. Or sleeping, eating, and fucking. Maybe those are the 3 earthly desires that she has. Totally not Rambo. And of course, we can't waste our time for that. The world needs to be saved. We need to spend every waking hour preparing, because if we are unprepared, we're going to fail, and the world will end if we fail. Little did they know, and little did Genjiro know. Maybe we can work a few of those climactic action scenes into our strategies, probably, especially if Hibiki would be involved. Were to be involved. What exactly is going to happen after we free mankind from oppression? Things will change. And there also will be things that do not change. Just casual Sekuhara. Not likely, there absolutely will be. Even if all of our hard work and determination is for others, none of them will accept our ideals. True. Very much true. But we aren't fighting oppression for the sake of acceptance. We will be pariahs, but we have each other. We have each other, and as long as we have each other, the world is already perfect. Shit! I really wish they stuck around. After this OVA, I wish it even more. After this scene, when they had, like... They all had dreams and aspirations and goals. And they were actually a group of friends, right? Not a ragtag group of villains, the way you usually have them. During the second season, I made some comments that there can be no trust in a group of villains because they are villains. There can be no trust between, I know, Maria and Ver, because Ver is a villain and you can't trust him because he will double cross you if whatever he needs to achieve requires him to double cross you. It's as simple as that. There is trust here. There's some, some friendship, there's some love between the 3 of them. There might be a group of anti-heroes, but they aren't a group of villains. And it really, really, really sucks that they were killed in such an anticlimactic and kind of useless, well, not useless way. Useless in the meaning that the nuke being launched didn't need to be a thing, right? And, or if it was launched, then the 3 of them stopping that nuke didn't... I still believe they didn't need to sacrifice their lives to stop a mere nuke. I still believe they could have made a shield or redirected it or whatever. They didn't need to perform the chrysopia or whatever it was called, turning it into gold. They didn't need to do that. They didn't need to sacrifice themselves. So I still do see their deaths as wasteful. And I don't think I can be convinced that they weren't. It was kind of like the writers of the show realized that, oh shit, those three are still alive. Or rather, by the time only Saint-Germain was alive, the other two were presumed dead, and then they brought the other two back to life. And then they realized that, oh no, the three alchemists are alive, we can't have that, we need to kill them somehow. I don't know. Refer to my video on the finale of the show, finale of the season, if you want to know more of my thoughts about how the three of them went out. I'm not a fan. I would much rather keep them around. Much rather. Okay. So, episode 3 expanded a lot about the Alchemist trio. I like it. That was something that I wanted. We did spend a fair bit of time with them in the series proper, in the show proper, in the season proper. But those tidbits of their daily lives, well, kind of, sorta, did really add a lot to them, especially that last segment of them talking about how they're going to become pariahs. Nobody's going to accept them, but as long as we have each other, we're going to be fine. The world is already gonna be perfect. It really made me dislike that bit about the finale of AXZ even more, you know? Usually OVAs make me like the main series more. Although no, the OVAs to the previous season I think also had some moments that made me realize a little bit of shortcomings of the series proper. I can't remember, but there were some OVAs of Symphogear that made me realize additional shortcomings. Regardless, I'm glad we got to spend some time with them. Yeah, I'm glad we got some slapstick kind of comedy. The pronunciation thing. I love what they did with the art here, with those two moments, right? The complete art style change, PSG style, and then the photo of Shoyu Tonkotsu. That was great. They are playing with the medium, and I can always appreciate that, even if it's just a little bit. The running gag of we can now be proper villains. No, we are not villains. We are not bad guys. Yeah, it was cool to see them again, but it made me even more sad that they're not going to stick around and that they died for little to no reason at all. Yeah, I think that about sums up this OVA. So let's get on with the fourth one. There we go. It's at 0 seconds. Subs, you're gonna need them. Zero them out. Sound, I'm gonna need it. Support the channel if you want Patreon throne. No, not gonna. And now we can start watching episode 4 of Symphogear OVA's AXZ in 3, 2, 1, go. Just before Hell Screen. What is Hell Screen? Operation Hell Screen? Theater? Oh. Oh, yeah, Operation Hell Screen, right. The tanks, Hibiki God. Not Hibiki God, the other god. No, wait. That's... Hell screen was Val Verde. Sorry, yeah. Okay, what's the souvenir though? The schoolgirl noise though. But she doesn't know how to help herself. That's an all too common thing. Yes. The grapefruit endures severity. Oh, right, tomatoes. Okay. Elfline's Day Off. Oh, that's interesting. And she goes back. No. Yeah. And she won't be able to. Yeah. She's tinkering. Oh, trying to find Carol's memories. And Carol had a braid, of course. Yeah. Fried shrimp. She's gonna try to meet up with Carol, essentially. Okay, and the birthmark. Tsubasa's day off. Right, Tiki was essentially naked all the time. So she's going to train. Let's go on a date. Look, yeah, exactly. You're walking too fast. She's bringing the flowers to a grave or something? Yep, I was correct. Who exactly? Just in general, the nobodies who were fighting alongside you, or someone specific? Oh, Nastasia. Okay. Okay, she also has something. A letter. Interesting. Oh, and there's the phone. She's gonna order some Uber Eats. Margarita is like the worst pizza you can order. It has absolutely nothing on it. Just cheese and tomatoes. Oh, interesting. What's the music, though? Yes. Yes, he just does absolutely nothing. And she was carted off. Okay, that was cute. Perhaps not now. Yeah, exactly. Okay, an epilogue to AXZ. That's cool. Okay, so the rest was just for Hibiki. Kinekri? Kinekri? What? Okay, Red Singing Hood. I know what's gonna be a song during the concert. I wish we did see a little bit of an epilogue, a little bit more of an epilogue. But hey, I'm happy we got even this much. What can I say? What can I say besides let's watch it again, shall we? My segues are getting better and better. And yeah, Hell Screen was the operation in Val Verde. Yeah, we're watching collection of anti-tank masterpieces, not incredible, for example. And this is a souvenir from Val Verde. Just white. Is it the white chocolate or something? I don't know. I was trying to distract myself from the sad reality that I've only ever been overseas for missions. Yeah, trying to pretend like you were on a business trip or you were on vacations. I guess it can lessen the burden. And when you go back home, you don't just go back to into the swing of things, but you bring some souvenirs, right? And you treat it as a return home after a long vacation. I love the schoolgirl noise. I already said it, but it's great. The morning of the new term. Surprised we didn't get to see a little more of Yandere Miku in those OVAs, but hey. Our argument completely evaporated in the heat. What argument? I'm gonna be honest, I don't recall any. Especially since this is still, I think, before the show started, so it is an argument about Kirika throwing away her life and using her swan song. What evaporated were your shame and vocabulary. Nothing to be ashamed of, they're just holding hands. Great tomato rebellion, that's a great dream to have. Elf9's day off. I was fully expecting her to either... I was fully expecting the joke here to be that Elf9 either doesn't take a day off and just, you know, doing what she does all the time is what she wants to do. So a day off for her spent doing what she wants to do is a day spent like she usually does spend it. Or her just not knowing what to do with her free time and just laying in bed wondering what can she even do. But as it turns out, she has something she wants to do. Yeah, she wants to somehow pull Carol out of her own brain and have a talk with her, spend some time with her, perhaps have a split personality. And the braid makes sense. Carol did have a braid. How could I have forgotten that? Person of great talent, but who was ultimately powerless. If I use the direct feedback system that Ver left behind. This is the day off I worked so hard for. Okay, so on her day off, she wants to meet Carol, essentially. I have to make the most of it so I can get the chance to see that friend. And during her day off, she works on a method to meet Carol. And the mark that Carol had and Elf9 didn't, but now Elf9 has it because she's inside of Carol's body. And her theory makes sense that she has Carol's brain, ultimately, so the nervous connections that make up Carol's personality and Carol's memories are still there, presumably. At least some of them, so you can recover something. Naked date. I mean, technically, Tiki is naked, but she doesn't look naked with all those different colors on her. Tsubasa's day off. And she's just power walking away from Maria. I love it. Buying some flowers, Maria being jealous. And as it turns out, it was just a visit to the grave. And there's a bottle of something, a bottle of something else, and a bottle of soy sauce. I guess the bottles to the right are alcohol? Probably. And a letter probably from Kirika and Shirabe. A bouquet of white lilies, another one to the collection. And of course Maria also brought something interesting, that despite not knowing they're going to visit Nastasia's grave, she brought the bottle with her. I guess she said that, and after that you could accompany me to Nastasia's grave, probably. Okay, so it worked out in the end. Telepath phone. That's useful. You can just summon a phone and call anybody. Just call a pizzeria with telepathy. That's gotta be useful. And yeah, he has time to just call up random places and tell them, hey, chill with the nudity. He's supposed to be busy, but he isn't. Yeah, he has a lot of free time because the trio of alchemists are doing his bidding and he just gets to chill. Yeah, he does have a lot of free time, Tiki. Some gears are turning in your head. I'm glad to see that. Swan Song the Valkyrie sang. Interesting that we got to see something that happened during the season as an OVA moment. Usually OVAs cover what was before the season and after the season, not really what was during. But I guess it's not unprecedented even for Symphogear OVAs. I'm okay. I'm so confused. I don't know what I should do. You should just call her a baka. Of course. I just need to get better so that I'll be able to beat Shirabe up. In a friendly fight, in a friendly tussle. Oh, she's ordering a lot. French fries, udon Neapolitan. What is udon Neapolitan? Is it like udon but with Neapolitan sauce? Like udon spaghetti? Fried takoyaki, simmered taro, shrimp crackers, and she completely forgot what Miku wanted. Of course. I guess the entire rest of the order was just for Hibiki alone, and not for everybody. I don't know. Going out to karaoke with this group of people seems really refreshing. Yeah, it probably was the first time we've done this. Kinekri. Chris? Is that her nickname for Chris? What's Chris's other full name? Chris. Symphogear Chris. Yukina Chris. Yeah, right, Yukina Chris. You, Kine Chris. Okay, she just took the middle segment, Kinekri. She makes some great nicknames, doesn't she? And yeah, interesting that it's Chris who invited them. Apparently. Yeah, interesting. I guess Chris is just playing the big tsundere as always. We should start making requests, and of course Chris jumps in onto the occasion to sing Little Red Singing Hood. And sings it over the end credits. Okay. I can put away the headphones completely now. That was also a cool OVA. I mean, what can I say? Some fun moments spent with our heroes, very much slice of lifey. But we did get some deeper moments. We did get the thing with Elf9 trying to contact Carol, which I guess makes sense. Actually, it makes perfect sense that she would want to do that. She would want to perhaps even thank Carol or have some discussion with her, some conversation. Makes perfect sense. But I guess it's kind of another thing that I wish was there in the series proper, in the season proper. But it doesn't have the same issue that the other season had. Which one? I think it was the previous season where I complained that many of the things that were in the OVAs could fit into the season proper, but instead were filled with some filler fights. I guess it kind of is the same case when it comes to AXZ. Some of the fights could probably have been shortened or removed completely, and the time spent to give more characterization for Elfline, for example, establishing that she wants to contact Chris, some more characterization for, I don't know, whoever, any slice of lifey moments to establish that base grounded stakes. But I'm glad we got to see Elf9 being developed, even if it's just in the OVAs. I would have preferred it done in the main series. She did get some development in AXZ season, but she could have gotten a little bit more, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But I'm glad she did get as much as she did, even if it's just through the OVA. Tsubasa's and Maria's chemistry, great as always. Tsubasa power walking away from Maria was great. And of course the final, not even a final thing. No, I think the most significant thing in this episode, in this OVA, for me at least, was the bit with Elf9, building up a little bit of her character. Because when it comes to Adam, we already knew he's a lazy fuck that doesn't really want to work on anything and just delegates things. We knew that Shirabe and Kirika have a great relationship, and that Kirika and Shirabe is going to worry about Kirika, and that they have that playful energy between them, right? Shirabe calls Kirika a baka, and Kirika wants to fight, right? So it didn't really show us anything new. It did expand upon what happened during when Kirika was out of commission. So hey, that's cool. But didn't really tell us anything new about the characters. And lastly, karaoke. That was just a fun ending to this OVA and to the Symphogear OVAs, AXZ OVAs at least, as a whole. And I now know at least one of the songs that will be sung during the concert, for sure. Red Singing Hood is going to be one of them. All things considered, though, I think Elf9 having a moment here is something I appreciate the most out of this OVA. Yeah, for sure. For sure, but it's another case of the OVA showing me that something was lacking from the season that I initially didn't think was lacking from the season, right? I mean, I thought that the slice of life-ish moments are lacking, but not that specifically some development for Elf9 is lacking. This OVA showed me that the season would have been a little better if they included that bit, but they didn't. So I'm glad we at least got the OVAs to add that additional stuff. I'm talking in circles, so I probably should stop. Yeah, the third OVA was cool. What can I say? And as a whole, of course, the OVAs were fun as always. As always, they gave us a little bit of added character building for multiple characters, mostly for the Alchemists, for sure. For Elf9, who was also missing a little bit of characterization. I'm glad those OVAs exist because they yet again filled a couple of the holes that were left in the season. I think every time I talk about Symphogear OVAs, I have to touch on the topic of a core being 12 or 13 episodes and an episode being 24 minutes long. Now, I do realize why that is, right? TV slots. Anime seasons last 3 months with like a week-long break between them or something thereabouts. So in a seasonal slot, you can fit in 12 or 13 episodes. Not really more than that, because then that slot needs to be taken by other anime. And if you have something that has like 16 episodes, then you're gonna need to find something that has 8 episodes to slot it after, and it's a one big mess. The same goes for time slots. For the time it takes, like 24 minutes, 50 minutes for double feature or like small movies, or in general double length episodes. Makes sense because it's all 12 24-minute slots is allotted per anime on the TV. So I understand why that is. But I do believe anime would benefit from relaxing those things a little, at least. I do believe that many shows would benefit from taking 30 minutes per episode, or having, I don't know, 16 episodes to work with, or ending after 10 episodes, right? And Symphogear always seemed like this kind of a show to me. That perhaps if it was given those additional 6 minutes per episode, they could have squeezed in a little bit more of that slice of life stuff, a little bit more of that characterization. But alas, it's 12 or 13, strictly speaking, 13 times 24 minutes, and we're not really gonna jump that. Unless anime goes like streaming native and straight to Netflix, straight to Crunchyroll, That's not going to change, and I'm honestly not sure if I would like anime to be based purely on streaming services. I think there's something to be said about the time restrictions, time constraints, giving some boundaries to the show and some creative work having to be done, right? Because if the time was unconstrained, you could have complete slogfests. But because there are time constraints, they need to get on with the program because they only have so much time. So there aren't any, like, I don't know. There's certainly a discussion to be had about it, but perhaps not now. It's almost 2 hours. It's been almost 2 hours, so I think we should start slowly wrapping it up. Cool OVAs. I did like them. That's about the summary of it. And we didn't really get anything, any, like, how should I say it? Any, whatchamacallit? Anything that would potentially lead into the next season. I wanted to put it in different terms, but as I said, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, it's very late, so my brain no worked any good no more. There wasn't anything mentioned that would potentially be a segue to the next season, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm kind of wondering what the next season is going to be. What's going to happen? We're probably going to fight the custodians. I mean, at some point, we need to fight the custodians after all. So hopefully that happens. Probably that happens. Hibiki has now been established as a god slayer, and if custodians are deities, then Hibiki will be their secret weapon to destroy the custodians. Will they free humanity from the curse of Belial, though? I don't know. I'm not sure. Are we getting another season after the next one? I don't know either. Usually they're announced during concerts, but the concert for the last existing season was delayed due to COVID. And would they have delayed the anime with that concert, or would they have rather released the anime? But I guess the anime might also have been delayed by COVID, so perhaps once the concert is out, they're gonna mention next season being in the works. I don't know. I don't want to get that far ahead into the future. I said we need to wrap it up, so we are wrapping it up. What else needs to be said? The concert that I mentioned, AXZ concert, I'm going to be watching it, of course. If you're watching this video, this episode on Patreon, I'm going to be watching the concert in 2 weeks' time. If you're watching this episode on YouTube, I'm going to be watching the concert in a week's time. And the countdown, the live stream should probably already be up on YouTube. Maybe not. If not, it's going to be up on YouTube soon. And yeah, I just need to find myself some glow sticks to use during the concert, because I ordered some from AliExpress and they never arrived, and the seller tried to scam me. So now I'm gonna try to find a different source or DIY something myself. DIY myself, yeah, great English there. Regardless, as I said, we're gonna end it here. Concert is coming next, then next season of Symphogear, then next season's OVAs and next season's concert, and then next season, if it comes out, maybe a movie. I don't know what the plans are. We'll see. I vaguely recall there being some mention of some project from those people, maybe a Symphogear spin-off kind of thing. I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't want to speak out of my ass. I just vaguely recall something like that. Right now, though, my throat is already killing me, so we're gonna end it here. But maybe you guys have something more to add, something more to say. If so, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode? My reaction, my theories, anything that needs clarifying or adding, as long as it's not spoilers for the next season, feel free to talk about it in the comments down below. If it's spoilers, however, you can still share your thoughts on my Discord. It's up here, also link in the description. You can join it. There's a Symphogear channel where you can spoiler attacks to talk spoilers. Simple as. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of Symphogear and of other shows like Oyuki no Kaina, like Benria Saito-san, like Gundam Witch from Mercury has ended, something else is going to replace it, and other shows, of course, and I'm still yet to watch Madoka Magica movie Rebellion, so that's also coming in a specified future. And I also stream sometimes, so if you wanna watch me play some gacha games, click the bell to be notified of whenever I go live. Support the channel if you want. Monetarily, Patreon, Throne, links in the description below. On Patreon for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, like Madoka, like others in history and in the future. And for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And sometimes, rarely, I release seasonal shows a little bit early on that tier as well. On Throne, you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better gear, better software, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, costs you nothing, share my content, spread the word. It's completely free and helps the channel a lot in a very tangible way. So, right now, that's gonna be it from me for today. And as always, you guys do all the good stuff. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And here's the list of my current patrons, and you can join them if only you so desire. And my voice just cracked.